You're listening to the Marne Report.
Hey, Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. It's Brian Lund here with another edition of the Marne Report Podcast. And today we have Miss Jenny Walker, the FMP manager. How you doing this morning?
I'm great, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm great to have you here today. So first, I want to talk about all things EFMP. Can you first just tell me a little bit about what EFMP is and what you do around the Rock?
So the Exceptional Family Member Program is for any soldiers with DEERS enrolled dependents that have any type of physical or educational disabilities. And that can be a broad range. People tend to think, wheelchairs or round-the-clock care. It could be a child that simply has autism, needs an IEP. It could be someone with an educational need. I think some soldiers get that confused. They don't realize that if my child has an IEP, there is an educational enrollment piece to EFMP. Of course, there's the medical side, and that is a broad range of things. I myself have seasonal allergies, which you wouldn't think would be a qualifying factor, but I am allergic to the things that grow in the South.
Oh, yeah.
I have to have certain medications, and I have to have allergy shots, and so that would be something you would want to enroll in, or enroll in EFMP for, because you would want to make sure those things are available at your duty station for your family members, and that's what EFMP boils down to. It's making sure that the services and supports, and especially the medical care, is at the duty station you're at, so that your family members have what they need. If you go somewhere with an EFMP qualifying factor and you are not enrolled, depending on the severity of the need, it could really be detrimental to the soldier, to the family member. It could be life-threatening depending on what the need is. And so that is the core purpose of EFMP, is to ensure that where you are stationed, your family members have the supports that they need.
Yes, ma'am. And so you talked about qualifying factors. So I guess what does that enrollment process look like? How do you actually qualify to be in this program?
Qualify is probably not the right word to use,
Right.
but things that would require you. It's a mandated program per AR 608-75. So if you have medical conditions that warrant enrollment, a soldier is mandated through that AR to enroll their family members. The process now has changed a lot. It used to be that you would fill out this 11-page form, physically take it to the hospital, turn it in, and then the soldiers it would be a waiting game for up to 2 months. They wouldn't know where their stuff was or what was happening. Now it's all online. We have the Enterprise EFMP system, which I think has been a wonderful development, because once the soldiers are in that system, they can look at their own records. They can see real time who's got their stuff. So it'll tell them when they view their history, if it's at the MTF with a coordinator, if somebody's looking at it, if it's being reviewed, where it's being reviewed at. And so they have access to that system to see exactly where their stuff is. And they're uploading their own documentation. So it's no longer handing off hard copy pieces of paper with PII or PHI on it. It is all in that system, and it's very secure. So it's much, much better, and it's much faster now.
Things do change rapidly. So what does advocacy look like for these military families and their needs?
So it just depends on the family. So
Right.
even though we've got 1,500 families enrolled, every case is going to be different. And I've said that for years. You could have two families with the exact same demographic information, the exact same diagnosis, and they're going to need different things. It just depends on what that specific family needs. And that's what's great about EFMP family support. So that's the side that I'm on. I don't do the medical side. I can assist soldiers with getting into the enterprise system, linking them with the medical side of the house, but I don't touch their enrollments, their disenrollments. None of that is family support. What family support does is we sit down with the families, we do a comprehensive needs assessment, and then we develop a family service plan with them, which is just the goals of, okay, we need to get into, maybe we need a child enrolled in preschool and they need to be evaluated for special education in the preschool level. So we would help with that. We would help link them to, we're essentially INR for EFMP. We link them to the resources and supports that are needed.
And so is this available for transitioning military families as well?
Oh, absolutely. So what we do, we actually, here at Fort Stewart, we're unique in that we have the EFMP 101 PCS brief. Soldiers have to come see us to get that brief if they have DEERS enrolled dependents when they're on assignment orders. They have to see us before they get their hard copy orders, and the reason for that is so that they understand what would mandate them enrolling in EFMP, that we do have the program, because some soldiers just don't know that they need to be enrolled. And also to make sure that they don't have any hiccups if they're going overseas. We can link them to the right people to make sure all their questions are answered. Everything's done ahead of time so that they don't run into any snags when they get their orders. And we take their paperwork from that briefing. It should be 3 to 6 months out if we haven't fallen behind in getting them in there. We take their paperwork, we do what's called a warm handoff. So once we get their stuff into the system, we send that to the gaining installation, make sure the EFMP manager for family support is tracking, and then somebody will reach out to them 3 to 6 months out so that anything they need coordinated, whether it's preschool or maybe they need childcare, it could be a housing accommodation. We want to get that stuff started early so that they're not finding delays when they get on their installation.
So can we look ahead a little bit? what kind of events do we have coming up? What can people look forward to?
Oh, that's the fun stuff.
Yes.
So we've coordinated with MWR, and our MWR here has been phenomenal in supporting our EFMP families. We have 6 EFMP swim dates here. 2 of them are already passed. We've got one coming up on the 13th, and then another one in July and 2 more in August. What they do is they open up the pool at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is a little early, but it's very quiet, which is really good for our kiddos that have sensory issues or that just need more space. Because I don't know if you've seen the pool on a Saturday afternoon in Georgia, but it gets crowded. Yes. And that's not good for our kids that have sensory issues. We've got some adult EFMs that really, EFM is Exceptional Family Member, for those that don't know. It's really hard for them to handle that. It's too much noise. I get sensory overload at big post-wide events. Like, I couldn't fathom going to a post-concert. Nope. So if you've got something that causes you to have those sensory issues, or you just don't like crowds like that, it's going to be too overwhelming. And so MWR allows us to go in for those 2 hours in the morning before the big crowds come in, so our EFMP families can enjoy the pool without, any meltdowns or anything like that.
And so for people that want to stay up to date about the latest news, where can they go to? Is it the MWR page, or is there a specific EFMP page?
The ACS Facebook page, and we also have the All Things EFMP Facebook group on there. And when we have marketing in ACS, they are uploading the information directly to it. So you're getting information from ACS EFMP, so it's legitimate real-time information.
Are you the primary contact for EFMP, or how can people reach out if they want to know more information?
All they can have to do, they can contact us through Facebook. On our Facebook page, they can contact us through the website, and they can also call ACS and just ask for EFMP. I'm the EFMP manager, but I'm not necessarily the primary POC, because it may be a question that one of my navigators can answer. Those are non-clinical case managers that are contracted to work for EFMP. We also have 2 other coordinators between here and Hunter. So if they're asking just for me and I'm not in the office, I don't want anyone to ever be held up. So they can just simply call ACS and say, hey, I want more information. If they don't want to talk to us, they can go online to, they can Google EFMP and me, and that is a wonderful site that they can register with, and we'll tell them all the things they ever wanted to know about EFMP, and even some of the things they never thought they wanted to ask.
Yes. And is there anything that you want people to know about EFMP that we haven't talked about today?
That we are here to help. If you're having an issue, there's so many numerous things, it's hard to name any one, but if you are struggling, if you've got a family member that's got those really severe needs, come talk to us. If we can do anything for you, we're absolutely going to. We know where the resources are. My system navigators are phenomenal at what they do, and part of their job is to go out into the community. We cover a 6 to 7 county radius plus the on-post schools. They know who the special education directors are. They know what the services and supports in the area are. They can connect you to all those things. And I tell families, you don't necessarily need me to do anything for you, but it gets overwhelming when you've got a special needs family member, especially if it's something severe like a severe heart defect or something that's very detrimental to their health. It can be really overwhelming when you're PCSing in to add that to the mix, trying to get the referrals that you need and the services you need and the medical support you need. So I tell people, have a seat, tell me what you need, let me make some phone calls for you, and we'll come back, we'll meet the next day, and I will give you a list of everything for you to choose from, and we'll go through it together so that it's just not so overwhelming, so you don't have to do everything.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Ms. Walker, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast today. I want to say thank you to you and your team for all you guys do. And for people out there listening, I hope you can take something from this. And there's so much to look forward going forward. So make sure you're staying up to date on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us, Brian. We appreciate it.
Yes. Well, that's going to be another episode of the Marne Report Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
The Digital Garrison app is your one-stop source for all things Fort Stewart Hunter Army Airfield. With the DG at your fingertips, you'll never miss out on upcoming events, installation updates, facility and gate information, weather, shopping, and so much more. Digital Garrison is free from your phone's app store. Download today.